Chapter 33. Next Step. Riley listened carefully as Kichi and Red explained their encounter with Kevin and the events that led to their suspicions. They described how they had infiltrated the police station, with Kichi assuming Riley's identity using her illusion magic, and how Kevin had unknowingly revealed his connection to Shinigami by taking the crimson katana from Red. Riley, during our disguise as you, we observed Kevin's behavior closely, Kichi explained. He displayed knowledge and abilities that were beyond ordinary human capabilities. It was clear that there was more to him than meets the eye. Red nodded in agreement. Indeed. When Kevin took the crimson katana, he could see through my magic and detect its presence. That was the moment we realized he was linked to Shinigami on a deeper level. It was as if the sword resonated with him, drawing out the darkness within. Riley absorbed their words, connecting the dots in his mind. So, when Kevin had the sword in his possession, it somehow activated his connection to Shinigami. It explains how Shinigami got past dozens of police, and why it doesn't look like Kevin. It's like Shinigami's essence infused him, giving him otherworldly abilities. Kichi nodded solemnly. Exactly. This connection between Kevin and Shinigami is what we must understand and exploit to our advantage. By severing that link, we can weaken Shinigami and empower Kevin to regain control over his own body. With this new information, Riley's determination grew stronger. We need to find a way to break that connection, to separate Kevin from the influence of Shinigami. It won't be easy, but with our combined efforts and the knowledge we acquire, we can uncover a way to free Kevin from this darkness. Riley, Kichi, and Red exchanged worried glances as Mary revealed that Kevin had once again obtained the crimson katana and had intended to harm her. He has never raised a hand at me. Raised a 3-foot razor bladed up to hit me with it while saying all crimes are punishable by death. What did I do? Mary began to cry. The room filled with an unsettling tension and were filled with compassion for Mary, but they could sense the imminent danger that lurked around them. Kichi, you and Red stopped him. How did you manage to prevent Kevin, sorry Shinigami, from carrying out his intentions? Red took a deep breath before responding. When I sensed the dark presence consuming Kevin, I used my powers to create a barrier, shielding Mary from harm. The black smoke emanating from Shinigami was powerful, but I managed to hold it back temporarily. It bought us some time, but it's clear that Kevin's connection to Shinigami is very strong. Holding her katana up, Kichi spoke while running her finger up and down the spine softly. This blade has been with me from the start of my life. My father was a... She looked to Red to seek permission. For the first time in over 500 years, Red granted her permission to tell others about her father. Even the briefest story, she felt allowed his history to span eternity. My father was Daimyo Hideyoshi. At that time, having a son was a must, and wanting his son to have the best and newest katana, Daimyo Hideyoshi sent his most trusted guards to retrieve a sword, crafted by the best swordmaker of the time. But it had been forged for a rival samurai family. The guards were killed by that sword, but not after gravely wounding the swordmaker. For that, my father was cursed. He lost his wife and son during birth. Every child he had thereafter was female. When my mother was pregnant with me, my father felt very strongly I would be a boy and relinquished his sword so that his child's soul could bound with the soul of the katana at birth. Since I was female given a samurai birth and bounded with a katana, I was not given a name, and my father sent me away to live and train as a samurai. This sword was crafted 1304 AD, Kamakura period, by Goro Nyudo Masamune. We share a soul and the magical gift of life provided to me by the bounding with the fox witch. It was not until I was mortally wounded by Shinigami that I received my name from my father." Though she stood strong and tall, Kichi felt tears run over her cheeks for the first time in over 500 years. "I have the blade to kill Shinigami." "So what is the story behind Shinigami's blade?" Riley asked. Red hung her head, feeling disgrace for what she was about to say. "My sister was the one the dying swordmaker called upon to avenge him. She tricked him into believing he would be the katana's soul, but instead it was Shinigami. She ensured the baby would die during birth, but the boy's spirit was too strong. Shinigami couldn't take complete control. In the end, Makoto surrendered to the darkness, and the Shinigami used the sword to collect souls." "Well, this might be a crazy question, but where is your sister? Can she stop him?" Riley asked. Tired of speaking of the past, Red ignored his inquiry, her voice laced with urgency. "We need to act quickly. If Kevin fully succumbs to Shinigami's influence, he will become even more powerful." Sensing Red's discomfort surrounding the topic of her sister Kichi, intervened. "Okay, we're going to head out and reach out to some of our contacts for clues. Let us know when you have something." So, with a heavy heart, Riley took Mary and made their way back to the police station. He sought out Becky, the digital forensic expert, who had proven to be a valuable asset in their investigation thus far. He knew that her skills would be crucial in screening incoming calls for any signs of Shinigami's influence or unusual activity. Entering Becky's workspace, Riley found her diligently analyzing data and monitoring the station's communication systems. He approached her with a sense of urgency, explaining the gravity of the situation and the need to stay vigilant for any strange or out-of-the-ordinary calls. "Becky, we can't afford to let anything slip past us," Riley said, his voice containing a hint of fear. "Shinigami is resourceful and unpredictable. We need to be one step ahead of him. If anyone contacts the station with information related to Shinigami, we must identify it immediately." Becky nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "Don't worry. I'll set up filters to flag any suspicious calls. We won't let anything slip through the cracks." Riley returned back to his desk, where Mary was waiting, and asked before seating, "You good? Need anything?" "No thanks, Detective. What's our next step?" Mary asked, eager to do something. "Research," Riley said softly, as he sat and began sifting through the information, feeling frustrated by the lack of progress. Mary leaned over his shoulder, her eyes scanning the documents and images spread out on the desk. She observed the notes, crime scene images, and map locations, trying to make sense of the puzzle. After some time ticked by without any new leads, Mary spoke. "Riley, I think I see something," Mary said, her voice filled with anticipation. "Look at these crime scene locations and the sections you've marked. They all seem to converge towards this building downtown." Riley's eyes followed Mary's finger, tracing the lines and connections she pointed out. Suddenly, it all clicked into place. The pieces of the investigation were coming together, forming a pattern that led them to a specific location. "You're right, Mary," Riley exclaimed, a spark of excitement igniting within him. "This building seems to be the focal point of Shinigami's activities. It must be where he's hiding or planning his next move." The newfound revelation injected renewed energy into their pursuit. Riley quickly gathered his notes, photographs, and maps, organizing them with a newfound purpose. The building downtown became the primary target, the focal point of their investigation. "We need to assemble a team and prepare for an operation," Riley declared, his voice filled with determination. "Shinigami won't escape this time." "Wait," Mary said. "You can go in with a large force of police. They will just be slaughtered." Riley paused, his hand hovering over the phone on his desk. Mary's words resonated with him, reminding him of the danger they faced. He had momentarily overlooked the supernatural capabilities of their adversary and the futility of facing him with a large force of police. "You're right, Mary," he admitted, a sense of gratitude washing over him for her timely reminder. "Sending in a large force would only result in more casualties. We need to approach this strategically and with the right resources." Riley picked up the phone and dialed a number, his fingers tapping against the desk in anticipation. After a brief conversation, he ended the call and turned to Mary. "I'll contact our new partners," Riley informed her, speaking softly to prevent others from hearing. "We need to rely on Kichi and Red's expertise in dealing with supernatural entities. They've been through this before and understand the danger we're facing." Without wasting any time, Riley reached for his phone and dialed Kichi's number. The phone rang, and after a few moments, Kichi's voice came through. "Kichi, it's Riley. We've made a significant discovery, and we believe we've located Shinigami's hideout. We need your assistance. Can you and Red meet us downtown? It's crucial." There was a brief pause on the other end of the line before Kichi responded. "We're on our way, Riley. Tell us the location, and we'll be there." Riley provided Kichi with the address of the building downtown, emphasizing the urgency of the situation. He knew that with Kichi and Red's unique abilities and knowledge, they stood a better chance of facing Shinigami and neutralizing the threat he posed. As Riley hung up the phone, he turned to Mary. "We'll proceed with caution and rely on Kichi and Red for direction," Riley said. "Together, we'll confront Shinigami and put an end to his reign of terror. This is our best chance to save innocent lives." Mary nodded in agreement, her trust in Kichi and Red evident. They had formed an unlikely alliance, driven by a shared purpose and the resolve to protect others from the darkness that lurked within Shinigami.